Dr. Brad, I know
Yes.
our listeners are eager to understand the how of it, and I'm very struck with the use of the concrete word wall, which is also, as you're saying, symbolic and it's spiritual. And in the last show, my engineer and I, Ron, worked with you. We stood up and asked our listeners not to do this, obviously, if you're driving. And you had asked us to think about something horrible like war. And you may notice that your body sways back. And then something positive like someone who's been a mentor, a beloved helper in your life, and our bodies swayed forward. That happened for both of us. So I'm beginning to get the energetic piece, and then you referred to your emotion code, which is in your book, and which also you can access through emotioncode.com. Correct?
Yes, and you can get some of the book free at emotioncodegift.com.
What was that word? Emotion code.
Emotion Code Gift, GIFT.
Oh, GIFT, gift. Yes, emotioncodegift.com. Yes.
And you can buy the book on Amazon and in bookstores and so on. But let's do this experiment. For those of you that were listening last week, Dr. Duffy did a great little review of that. We call this the sway test. For those of you who weren't on, the body has this ability to respond to positive or negative thinking, basically. So what you can do is if you stand up and you drop your hands to your sides, and again, if you're driving, don't do this later, but stand up with your feet about shoulder width apart and drop your hands to your sides and just close your eyes and relax. And what I'd like you to do for a moment is I'd like you to think about a statement. You might want to imagine this statement appearing in front of you, or just think of these words in your mind. And here's the statement. I have a heart wall, and it's interfering with my life. I have a heart wall, and it's interfering with my life. As you focus on that thought, I have a heart wall, and it's interfering with my life. Focus on that, nothing else. See those words. I have a heart wall, and it's interfering with my life. But what will happen is, typically, if you have a heart wall, your body will sway forward. That's your subconscious mind moving you towards the positivity or the truth of that thought, you see. The subconscious mind will make you sway backwards if you're holding thoughts of negativity like war, like we did on the last show, or thoughts of falsehood or incongruency.
Yeah, good.
How did you do on that one, by the way?
Well,
out of curiosity.
Well, I did sway forward, and I do have. I don't know if it's 100%, but I know that I do have some obstruction around my heart to be self-protective. Yes, and without even realizing it, my body swayed forward.
Right. And don't feel bad, because 93% of people have this wall around their heart. The story that I was going to tell you about, we have about, several thousand emotion code certified practitioners scattered all over the world. And not too long ago, I got a testimonial from a lady in Italy. She sent me a photo of herself and her husband in front of this little tiny village in Italy where they live. And she said in her broken English, "For years, my marriage run badly. And then I got a new husband." And I'm reading this and I'm thinking, oh, okay, she got rid of that husband. She got a divorce. She got a new husband. Mm-hmm. And as I kept reading, I realized, no, that's not what happened. What happened was she hired an emotion code practitioner in Budapest to work on her husband remotely, because this work is done at a distance as well as live and in person, who removed her husband's heart wall. She said, now my husband is wonderful. He's loving. It's like getting a new husband. Thank you so much. And
wow.
It's funny, but it's true. And so people can, what we find is that when people remove this heart wall, and by the way, you can do this on yourself, when this wall is taken down, people find that they start attracting things, abundance, love, relationships into their life that they never were able to attract before, because it really happens on an energetic, on a quantum level, and we're all connected.
So Dr. Brad, what I want to sorry to interrupt, the quantum,
No.
the quantum, what do you mean by quantum?
Well, really, this all has to do with energy. Now, Albert Einstein and his contemporaries told us, and we've been hearing this for well over 100 years now, that the human body really, ultimately, is a very complex energy field. And the chair you're sitting in, the desk you're sitting at, the earth, the sun, the moon, the stars, all of it, ultimately, if you get right down to it, to the smallest bits of nature, we get down to what we call the quantum level. And on a quantum level, that's really what we are. We are beings of pure energy. And because emotions are energy as well, when we feel an intense emotion, in some way that we don't quite understand yet, somehow that energy of that emotion can become trapped in the body. And by the way, one of the things that we see is that sometimes, fairly often in fact, we inherit emotional energies from mom or dad that they might have inherited from their mom or dad. And sometimes these go back many generations. And that's one of the most profound aspects of this work, because we're tapping into the subconscious mind, which really is this vast reservoir of data. It knows everything that's wrong with you, knows exactly what needs to be done to get you totally well, knows exactly what emotional baggage you have, when those emotions occurred, who was involved, everything about them. We tap into the subconscious mind, and we're able to access that information, and there's nothing better on earth. And it's the fastest way, really, to get well and to optimize your life. You know, we all want to live long, we want to prosper, we want to maximize our genetic potential. The ultimate way to do that is by tapping into this internal computer system. And this is what we do in the emotion code, to find the emotional baggage and get rid of it. So it works. And by the way,
yeah.
Go ahead. Well, I was going to say, one of the most powerful truths or demonstrations of how this works is that it works with animals, because animals also get emotional baggage. They feel emotions, and when you learn the emotion code for people, you already know how to do it on animals. It's very, very simple, and yet 90% of all their physical and behavioral problems are also due to their emotional baggage. And it's amazing how quickly it works and how you can change an animal's behavior or how they're feeling by getting rid of their emotional baggage. It's fun.
Wow. It's because animals do have emotions, and it's lovely to see them if they're not dangerous emotions. So the emotion code, Dr. Bradley Nelson, how to release your trapped emotions for abundant health, love, and happiness. And you are so gracious to provide, if you Google it, the emotion code gift.com, where you actually have an emotion code chart, resplendent with the various organs in our bodies and various emotions listed. And then you would just do a kind of a testing with the sway technique. And also, do you do any muscle testing?
Well, yes, we teach a number of different methods of muscle testing, because that's really the fastest, most efficient way to tap into the subconscious mind and ask questions and get answers. You see, consciously, if your life isn't working, you don't know why. If you're diagnosed with some kind of a disease process, consciously, you don't know why. All you know is that you've got this now. And you see, the conscious mind is just a tiny, tiny fraction of our whole entire intelligence. Most of it the vast bulk of it is subconscious, but we now know how to tap into that and get rid of that. You know, I mentioned inherited emotions recently. Well, there studies now are coming out that are showing that the grandchildren of Holocaust survivors are experiencing mental, emotional, physical problems because of the trauma that the grandparents went through. They've done some studies, just came out just recently, where they found that an emotionally charged memory can be passed down up to 14 generations in lower animals. And so this is all verifying what we've been saying for a long time now, that, yes, we can pass down, inherit, we inherit emotional baggage, and you can find that, you can release that. There's no other way to find it and release it, though, that we know of as efficiently as using the emotion code, because we tap into the subconscious.
And just to give people an example, I'm looking at something in Dr. Bradley Nelson's book, The Emotion Code Chart, and we have row 1, heart or small intestine, and then we have a column A and a column B, and each of them lists various emotions. So basically, through the sway method, you would ask, is this in column A? Yes or no. Is this in column B? Yes or no. That sort of thing, just to give people an idea.
Right, exactly. The emotion code chart, which you can find by just Googling emotion code chart, is divided. We take 60 emotions, the 60 most common emotions, divide them up into 2 columns and 6 rows, and it's simply a matter of asking questions and getting feedback from the body, either through the sway test or some other form of muscle testing. We teach methods of muscle testing where you can actually test yourself. You can work on yourself and do this. But it's a very simple process. Most people are able to do this and find a trapped emotion and release it within about a minute or so once they figure out how to do it. So the book is very, very simple. It's not difficult. It's something that kids can learn, kids can understand. In fact, we have kids as young as 5 using the emotion code effectively.
Wonderful. Oh, wonderful. Dr. Bradley Nelson, I can't thank you enough. This show has absolutely flown by, and I am very impressed by your energy and your generosity, and that people can download the emotion code chart and do it themselves, and more better, to purchase the emotion code by Dr. Bradley Nelson, How to Release Your Trapped Emotions for Abundant Health, Love, and Happiness. Thank you so much, Dr. Bradley Nelson. You'll come on again, I hope?
Well, absolutely. Just let me know. Thank you for having me on.
You're so welcome. And this is Dr. Duffy Spencer saying goodbye for now and wishing you great relationships.